Let's talk about presence and accountability, because I made a video about that before, but I want to flesh those two things out more, because presence and accountability are the two most powerful things that you have available to you to help you make decisions quicker. And decision making, clear and concise decision making, is the ultimate thing. I think in my learning and in my wisdom and the things that I've learned throughout my life, I think decision making, quick decision making, is the easiest way to get to peace in this world. And easiest way, but also the hardest way, because we don't want to make the wrong choice. That's the biggest holdup that we have in life. This fear of making the wrong choice over and over and over again. And we keep getting stuck and stuck and stuck. And then we can't really get into a flow. And the thing that keeps us in a flow is quick decision making. But in order to make quick decisions, we have to be willing to be accountable, and we have to be present. So accountability is amazing, because when you say with a genuine heart, not because you think that's what you're supposed to say, but when you say with a genuine heart that I am genuinely fully ready to handle whatever comes of this, and whatever comes of this, I'll be able to handle it, and you know that with certainty within, you'll make a choice. You'll make a choice, and you'll get to the next place, and you'll make a choice there, you make a choice there. Because to decide something, literally, when you get to the etymology of the word, it means to cut off. It means you remove all other options. You take them off of the table, and you basically, there is no plan B. And there can be a plan B, but that's you deal with it when it comes. If something comes up where you have to make a new choice, a new decision, you deal with it when it comes, which brings us to presence, right? So you can't be caught up in what might happen, what has happened, because those two places you have absolutely no power. And this is what drains you. We spend so much time in our mind worrying about what could go wrong if I make the wrong choice. You are not in the moment where you can actually make a choice. You are in the past. You are in the future that does not exist. The past no longer exists. You have left the spot where you can actually do something. And the only place you can do something is right here and right now. And you have to focus on, you have to work to keep yourself in that place. And it's a lifelong process. And you'll make great strides at certain points of your life, and then at certain points of your life you're gonna feel like you took 10 steps back. But that's okay, because the beautiful thing about this life, and also the most frustrating thing about this life, is that you're not a limited being. You're an unlimited being. Your soul has no limitations. It is limited while it's in this physical vessel, but beyond that, it has no limitations. Once it leaves this vessel, if you choose, you'll pick up a new vessel and move on into the next lifetime. So you don't have a place where you can say, okay, I've reached this point, I'm done, I've made it, that's it, game's over. No, because you're an infinite being, you're always going to keep growing and expanding. And that's the most beautiful thing about this life, because it's like you can't really get it wrong. And once you understand that you can't get it wrong, you stop worrying so much about this place, this earthly place. It's something to do, for right now. But when we get so caught up in the physicality of day-to-day life, we lose our perspective of what this whole thing is about, which is constant expansion. And we have to stay in tune with that, and that's one of the biggest things that helps relieve us of our fear of death. Because we can say, I'm not afraid of dying, but most people never really come to grips with the fact that you're not going to be here forever. And you grasp so desperately to things in the physical because you think it's going to give you some sort of peace about that fear of leaving this place. But really what the fear is about is that we're not using our time wisely while we have it. We haven't left our mark. We haven't done something that when we leave this place, we can say, oh, I left it all on the table. We play it safe. And we constantly grasp at these things that we know that are fleeting, like money and, material possessions, and even people. We try to possess them. You try to have kids, you think that's going to do it. You try to get married, you think that's going to do it. You get your house, you think that's going to do it. And there's this gnawing thing inside of you. It's like, that's still not it. Like, what is it? And it is getting to a place of your absolute fullest expression. And when you leave, that you overcame that fear of destruction that isn't real. And it's hard because you deal and you see this physical body every day, but it's an illusion. It's an illusion because deep down that there's more to you than this physical life. Otherwise, it wouldn't be gnawing at you the way it does. So you have to get in touch with that and water that and nurture that. And that helps you to really come to grips with the fact that this is going to leave one day. All of this is going to leave one day. And why not? Why not do it to the best of your ability? But we don't want to deal with pain, in the interim of life, of getting to that place. We don't want to deal with the consequences, right? We don't want to be accountable for it. So that's the catch-22, because you don't want to deal with whatever comes of a choice you might make to be free. But you have to. Nobody is coming to save you. You come here to save your own soul. And you come here to rescue yourself, and it can't be done through anything outside of yourself, and you have to constantly remind yourself of that. But if you are willing to take accountability for whatever comes in your life fully, in the same breath you were saying that I have the capacity to deal with whatever comes in my life, I can do it. I don't have to give this to something else outside of myself to fix me, to help me, to be a crutch for me. Because you have to realize at some point to trust yourself. You have to realize at some point that you are whole and complete. That's the game that you come to do. You have to get out of the illusion that you are missing something. You're not missing anything at all. You can't possibly be missing something if you are an infinite being. If your soul is limitless, what is there to miss? So and then you can think about things like, well, what am I leaving behind? Who gives a shit? Like, in one hand, yes, you want to leave something to know, you want to do something to know that you have fully expressed, you have fully expelled everything in you that you came here to do. But what's here when you're gone, it's pointless. Why are you even concerned with that? Like, really think about that. You want to leave something. You're not even here to experience what you're leaving behind. And the people that are here to experience what you're leaving behind have to save themselves too. So you have to get out of your ego with that. Yes, leave something, leave a mark. But the mark is not about the accolade. The mark is about the expansion for you and you alone. So, yes, leave something behind, of course. But don't leave something behind because you think it makes you a better person. You have to get out of that. Thinking better person for what? For other people to talk about it while you're gone. You're not here. You don't exist anymore. You're gone. So you have to stay in touch with the root of it, which is just simply the expression and expansion of your existence, of what you are at your very essence and at your very core. And the only way you can do that and get into a place of being able to do that is to take accountability for yourself. And this is where your power comes from. And this is where your confidence comes from. It doesn't come from reaching outside of yourself. It comes from trusting yourself. And the deeper your trust goes with yourself, your confidence has no choice but to follow it. Because you have accepted everything that comes with your decisions. And subsequently, you've accepted everything that comes with you. You allow for the mistakes. You allow for the quote-unquote failures. You allow for the good things to happen when you take a chance on you. And you can only make those choices to be accountable for yourself when you're present, when you stay in the actual moment that you have the power to do something. Even if, and one of the ways that you can do this, to watch yourself when you're in a moment or not in a moment, and start paying attention to when you've left it. And it happens so easily. Sometimes it's hard for you to even, sometimes it's going to take you, when you first start doing this, it might take you until minutes, maybe hours into a snowball moment where you've gotten completely lost in your mind for you to snap yourself out of it and realize, damn, I was daydreaming about a whole scenario that's not real. But in that moment, there's so much power because you at least have the realization that you were doing it, which you probably didn't before. But you do this a lot. You do this a lot in life all the time. You might be driving and you realize you zoned out. Or you might be talking to somebody and you realize you zoned out and didn't hear a thing that they were saying. So start doing that throughout the day, more and more and more, and you'll realize how many opportunities you have to bring yourself back to the present moment. And you have to reel yourself in further and further, because even if you 5 seconds out, that's too far. So when the first time you reel yourself back in, you might be 5 minutes away from where you're at. You worried about the next light, if it's going to be red when you get there or if it's going to be green. Come back to the car you're in, right? So, and even when you're in the car, you can be in the car and now you realize you're back in the seat, but now your mind done went to vacation next week, or your mind done went to Christmas tomorrow, or your mind has went to what you're going to do for New Year's. Come back. Get back in the seat. Get back in your body. Get back in the moment. And the more you practice this over and over and over again, the better you'll get at it. But you can't have accountability without presence, because presence is what's going to keep you from going into those fear-based thoughts of what could possibly go wrong and creating all these scenarios in your mind that may or may not come true. Because if you keep thinking about it, it can come true. But then you can't worry about it. Oh my God, I done veered off the path. I'm just going to bring yourself back. Bring yourself back. Bring yourself back. And really sit with yourself and get to a place where you are genuinely okay with whatever comes of whatever decision you make. Because it has to fall on you regardless. This is the thing. We can try to give our things away to other people through, whatever means, whether it's, talking to a therapist about it, or, talking to your spouse about it, talking to whoever about it, or getting yourself in a situation where you don't have to deal with the consequences, or you think you don't have to deal with the consequences of your actions. But at the end of the day, you are the one that still has to face the choices that you make. Other people can help you. Other people can assist you, but that's based upon where their constitution lies. If you really want to get free, you have to deal with it fully, whatever it's dealing with. So accountability and presence are the two most powerful things that you can use to help yourself make decisions quicker. And the truth of it is you can handle it. You know, that you can absolutely handle everything, because you have to. You don't have a choice. I mean, you have a choice. There's always free will. But if you want to grow up for real as a spiritual being and grow into your actual soul and take responsibility for yourself beyond what you do physically, and really take responsibility for your entire existence, you have to deal with whatever choice you make. You have to deal with whatever outcomes whatever outcomes come from your choices that you make. And the work is getting to a place of where you're genuinely okay with that, as opposed to, well, I don't have no choice, I gotta do it anyway. That type of attitude. Really soothe yourself and talk to yourself. Talk to yourself. I don't trust no motherfucker that don't talk to themselves, because the amount of thoughts you have day to day, and you not flushing that shit out with you, the one who's in you all day long, what are you doing? Have conversations, deep ones. The same stuff you would rather tell someone who's a stranger to you. Anybody other than you is a stranger to you to some extent, even if they're your twin, because you're the only one inside of you all day, every day, that knows every single thing, that knows every single lie, that knows every single aspiration, every single desire, every single happening. You're the only one. So everyone else is some form of a stranger. Talk to yourself. Work it out with yourself. Listen to yourself. This is how you develop a connection with yourself. Communication, open, honest communication. You worried about a relationship, nigga, can you talk to you openly and honestly? Let's start there. So yeah, accountability, presence leads to quick decision making. And the faster you make decisions, and I don't want to say don't worry about speed, because this isn't a race. There's no end. So, but the more you can get into the flow of decision making, which keeps you in a place of peace, which is the ultimate thing that we all are seeking out here. And you're the only one that can be fully accountable for you. Everything that you think you're missing, everything that you think you need, you're the only one that's accountable for all of that. You're the only one that can fix it. Adios.